So our theme of the week is about overconsumption and holiday excess. So, in the yoga tradition and Ayurveda, they have a lot of things to say about this and some yoga philosophy to help us manage it, but any type of overconsumption, and that's not just food. It could be, activity, it could be information, all of that can be considered overconsumption. We talked about this with the senses and stuff like that, how when we take in too much, it can create imbalances in our system. Even just the goods, the overconsumption of goods is another example. And then we can also consider how when we are overconsuming, what's the root of that, right? So oftentimes it's coming from a place of lack within us, right? Or maybe shopping to fill a hole, or we're over-consuming food to fill a hole, whatever it might be. And yoga philosophy asks us to remember that all that satisfaction and happiness and contentment all really comes from within, that those external things are fleeting. They're not really going to give us that lasting happiness. So I'm going to sprinkle in some different yoga philosophy today as we do our practice to kind of remind us of all, the real purpose behind yoga is to find that inner contentment. So go ahead, come on your back and we'll get started. And I'll tell you a little bit more as you come into your breathing. So how yoga philosophy counters consumerism. So that's kind of a big thing in this country. I was watching a show last night, just a quick little story, and it was about Thanksgiving in Canada on this show I was watching. And I was like, oh, I didn't know they had Thanksgiving in Canada. And Brian and I looked it up. And it was very interesting because the whole description of it was talking about how Thanksgiving in Canada was so different from in the United States because of the commercial aspect of it and Black Friday and all this stuff. And it went into all that. So I thought that was really interesting. So it's the consumerism of the holiday season that can often throw us off balance. So yoga philosophy says that the principle of contentment, which is santosha, is the Sanskrit word. Santosha means contentment. And this principle encourages gratitude for what we have. And that can reduce the desire for always wanting new shiny things, right? So being content as we are. So let's put one hand over the heart, one hand over the abdomen, and come into a nice soft breath. Just thinking about this concept of contentment. And then the next yogic principle that we're going to discuss is called aparigraha. That's a fancy Sanskrit word for non-possessiveness. And this yogic principle promotes living with less by focusing on what is truly needed, leading to a simpler, more minimalist lifestyle that reduces physical and mental clutter. So parigraha is also translated as non-grasping. So we're always grasping at things that we think will make us happy. And so yoga philosophy asks us to kind of let go of all that grasping and come back to contentment. And then finally, another yogic principle is called brahmacharya. And brahmacharya means conservation of energy or resources. So, thinking about consumerism and all that, resources that are used up on consumerism, but also in the energy we put forth in the holiday season is often very taxing on our system. We're at the darkest time of the year and it's very cold. It's very hard on our system. And then we're pushing ourselves to get more done. And so that's kind of the opposite of conservation of energy. And this can deplete our system. All right. So go ahead and release the hands and bend the knees. And take the arms out into a goalpost position if it's okay for you. If you need to modify, please do. And we're going to work a little bit with the area of the abdomen today because we're talking about overconsumption. It can really affect the digestive organs. So we're going to focus in on the kind of the gut area, the abdomen. So now go ahead and drop your right knee into the center and stretch through your right arm. And just notice that lengthening through your right side. And then bend the elbow, bring it back. And then do the other side. Drop the left knee in and straighten the left arm. And you might turn your head to look over your opposite shoulder. And then let's go side to side. Knee drops in, arm reaches. That's your inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to come back to the start. Okay, so just go ahead and continue. And really feel into the torso on the side that you're reaching through. So we're opening up the lower abdomen, the side of the rib cage, the belly area, as we do this side to side. So let's keep that going a few more cycles on each side. So we know when we overconsume, whether it's food or other things in life, just whatever it might be, any kind of stress added on to that can start to sort of create tension in the fascia around our digestive organs. And then the process of digestion is not going to go so well. We know that when we're stressed, we often get that indigestion. So when we do our somatic work, started talking about this last week, how it starts to create more rhythm in the smooth muscle of the body. So the smooth muscle we're talking about here would include our stomach and our intestinal tract. And that smooth muscle gets disrupted and that rhythm gets disrupted, our digestion can go awry. And we can even get what's called rebellious stomach chi. And that means that things are not going down and out the way they should. They start to come back up, and we don't want that, right? That's indigestion. Let's do one more round on each side. And then go ahead and come back into a pause. Keeping the knees bent, place both hands right over the center of your knee bowl. Take a breath or two here in your pause. And try to inflate the area right under your navel as you breathe in and let that area kind of release down as you exhale. Almost like your hands are creating a subtle resistance here. And this also will strengthen our diaphragm's capacity to move downward. Now from here, start to circle your hands. So you're stacking your palms and you're going to circle around your belly. And we're going to go on the inside of the hip bones and the rib cage. Right in that soft tissue area. And as we go up the right side, across, and down the left, we're following the pathway of our digestive tract. So go slowly, feeling the warmth of your hands. We also have a lot of lymph tissue in our gut, a good percentage of it. I think it's about 30%. And we also have that strong gut-brain connection, something called our enteric nervous system. And the enteric nervous system is the nervous system of our gut. And all of this stuff is affected by consuming too much, whether it's food or information or goods or experiences. and impacts our digestion. And then when the digestion is impacted, it's impacting a lot of other systems of the body, including our immune system. So this little belly massage can be really soothing, just the warmth of your hands, the flow of the energy in this kind of clockwise direction. One more circle. And then release. And just feel and notice that area for a moment. Breathe in, breathe out. All right, we're gonna grab a block next. And we're gonna lift the hips and bring the hips off the ground into a supported bridge position. So the hips are elevated. And we're gonna repeat that same exercise we did to start out. So back to the goalpost position. Take your feet as wide apart as your mat. And let's just start with the legs. Let's not even do the arms yet. Drop your right knee in. Take an inhale. Bring it back up as you exhale. Left knee drops in. Inhale. Exhale, bring it back. Okay, so go side to side a few rounds, just the knee dropping in. See if you might take your inhale after your knee drops in. Then you can really feel the sensations in here. You might feel if it's kind of tight in and around this area of the abdomen, the hip, the low belly. Oftentimes, this area is also compressed because of sitting. And then we're really compressing those digestive organs. So here we're starting to open things up. Now, when you're ready, option to add the arm. If you want to keep just working leg, feel free. Stretch the arm, drop the knee, take an inhale. And as you inhale, reach further with your arm and then come back. And repeat. Drop the knee in, reach the arm, take an inhale. Keep reaching through the arm as you inhale, and then come back. Okay? So go ahead and now continue that a few rounds. Paying that close attention to what's happening in the abdomen. So I'm gonna just take a second here and open my notes on my phone because although we got the connectivity on the iPad for the Zoom, my notes are still not opening. And I think I'll be able to get them up on my phone. It's not opening either, so I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to go by memory today. I think I practiced it just a few days ago, so hopefully I'll be okay. So go ahead and do one more round on each side. And then after you finish that second side, come back to neutral. Take a full breath in. Whenever we breathe in, let's go ahead, breathe into the abdomen, into the belly. All right, now straighten your right leg and straighten your right arm. So we're in a full body stretch on the right side. The left leg is bent. Look over your left shoulder. And then we're just gonna reach through the arm and the leg. Now the arm and leg are straight, so same kind of similar thing we just did. Inhale, reach through the arm and the leg. Exhale, relax. And let's repeat that. Inhale, reach. Exhale, relax. going. So a couple other yoga concepts that are helpful to think about here are directions that energy flows in the body. And one of the ways energy flows is downward. And so downward is really then the direction we want for digestion. We want things to go down, get processed, and then eliminated. But stress can often disrupt that process. The downward flow of energy is called apana vayu. And vayu is a word that means direction of energy flow. Let's do one more on this side. And then we'll go ahead and release the arm, bend the knee, and pause. And by the way, if anything is too much up on the block, feel free to do it off the block, no worries, okay? So it's just adding a little more opening in the lower abdomen. Okay, let's do the other side. Extend the left leg, the left arm. Maybe you're gonna look over your right shoulder. And we're gonna do a few rounds. Inhaling, reach through the arm and the leg. Exhale, soften. And then keep going. So when we open the area below the navel, okay, that's the lower abdomen, it starts to encourage this downward flow of energy in our organs. If that's all tight and compressed and sort of gunked up, it's going to be hard for things to flow down. So some of these initial moves we're doing is to open up this low belly area. Keep that going. And then another direction of energy that's important to consider is called samana vayu. So we have apana and we have samana. Samana is an inner penetrating energy, and it's the energy that transforms our food or our experiences into energy or useful information like wisdom, right? The end result is wisdom. When we have a life experience and we digest it properly, we come out wiser. But if things are too cluttered, we have no space to digest our life experiences, we can't get to that wisdom because we overwhelm our system from that overconsumption. All right, go ahead and pause. Let the arm come down, bend the knee, take a couple of breaths back to neutral. Okay, now we're going to do this again with both arms, both legs alternating. If you think it's going to be too much for you on your lower back, feel free to come off the block. Those of you who can tolerate it, straighten both legs. Let's just start with legs. You might want to separate them a little bit if your lower back feels pinchy. And then reach through your right leg. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Reach through your left leg. Inhale. Relax. And then keep going with the legs, side to side. If it feels okay for you, press your thigh toward the floor to open up that lower abdomen a little more. This is also the pathway of the psoas, which when it's contracted is going to interfere with digestion. Try to take a full breath with each side if you can. And we know the benefits of slowing down. We talked about that last week. Now you might just keep going with the lower body. If it's not too much on your body, take the arms overhead. And now reach through right arm, right leg. Inhale fully and then exhale. And again, reach, inhale. Let's go side to side a few rounds. And you're welcome to just do legs. You're welcome to come off the blocks. Do one more on each side. All right, let's go ahead and bend the knees and pause. When you're ready, we're going to take the block away, come all the way down. And windshield wiper right to left. All right, back to the center. And then bring the knees into the chest. Give them a good squeeze. And then keeping the knees in, take your arms out to a T. Press your lower back down. And we're going to draw slow circles with the knees. Now, as you bring the knees in toward the chest, you're giving that little compression into those lower abdominal areas. And as you move the knees away, we're creating a little more space. So it's almost like a little gentle massage for that lower abdominal region. Really try to use those lower abdominal muscles to pull the knees into the chest and then let them move away. Okay, after this next round, let's just reverse the direction. Two more on this side. And then after the next round, let the knees come down. Take a pause. Okay, we're going to straighten the left leg and bring the right knee into the chest. Do a couple rounds of just inhale, knee moves away. Exhale, pull in. I think we worked on this last week. Now, as you pull the knee in, let's start to compress the abdomen. Keep going. Then kind of massaging that right side of the digestive tract. Ayurveda, it is said that stress and moving fast through life, as we talked about last week, increases the air element in our system. So Ayurveda says that we're made up of the 5 elements of the natural world: earth, water, fire, air, and space. Too much consumption gives us excess air. You can imagine what that means. But it's not just in our digestive tract, it's in our minds. Minds can't slow down, our nervous system speeds up, And it's like we have the wind within us. This little movement is called apanasana. Remember that word, apanavayu. Downward flow of energy is grounding, and it decreases the excess air within us. One more round. Inhale. Exhale, pull the knee in. Keep the knee pulling in. Hold on with your left hand. Take your right arm out to a T. And we're going to go into twisting. Twisting is said to help the samana vayu, so the integrative energy flow that helps us process. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring that knee to the left. Twist. Look over your right shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist. All right, let's do a few more of those. As you twist, maybe draw the navel toward your spine. So you're squeezing out that air element. You might think about how the twist sort of brings stimulation into all that fascia that wraps around our internal organs. That fascia can tend to tighten, get disrupted, or even get armored up or thickened up, which limits blood flow, energy flow, circulation. Now, keep that knee over to the right, over to the left. If you want, stick a block under the knee, kind of come into a deeper twist. Look over your right shoulder. So that knee might just kind of be suspended. You could rest your foot on your thigh or the floor, or you might stick a block underneath it. Hold the twist. Okay. Let's take a breath or two, particularly breathing into that right side rib cage. One more breath. All right, now let's slow to come back, even yourself out, and if it's comfortable, straighten your legs and notice the right side versus the left. Maybe noticing that there seems to be a little more aliveness or energy flow through the right side of the body. And you may not be able to sense that. Okay, let's try that on the other side. Left knee hugs in. We'll start with the apanasana. Inhale, exhale, pull the knee in, compress the abdomen. Move slowly and repeat. Imagine you could squeeze out all the excess air in your system by finishing out that exhalation. Now massaging the left side of our digestive tract. As we talked about, when we're moving quickly, we tend to favor our inhalation, which guess what? That's more air element in our system. When we move slowly, we compress, we're adding more earth element. Earth element is all about stability, nourishment, groundedness. All of those can benefit our digestion. So we're not twisting yet, so we're just pulling the in and out of the chest. We'll twist next. Two more of these. We're Just flat on your back. Last one, squeeze it all out. And now let's twist. So left arm out to a T, right hand holds on to your leg or your knee. Inhale, exhale, twist to the right, look to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Maybe give that little bit of a squeeze to the belly muscles. Two more here, then we're going to hold that twist. All right, stay in the twist. Decide if you need support under your knee. You can use a block. The foot may or may not come to the floor. You could rest your right hand on the top of the leg if it feels okay. And look over your left shoulder and breathe. Try to breathe into the space below your navel. Great, go ahead and release and come back to the center, even out, and stretch the legs out. Take a pause. Now with both legs straight, pick up the right leg off the floor. We're going to come into another twist. Take it over to the left. Any amount, look over your right shoulder and think about your rib cage turning to the right as your lower body turns to the left, and then come back and bring that foot back to the floor. Inhale, lift the leg. Cross it over toward the floor, any amount, turning your rib cage. It's not really going to turn, but you're weighting it toward the right. And then come back. Now, if this is a lot, go back to a bent knee. If you can keep that leg straight. So that twisting of the lower abdomen here. As that leg comes across, it even kind of puts a little bit of weight on that low belly. So all the things we do in yoga, right? Twisting is one direction we move. We also side bend, we forward bend, we back bend. Each of these have a different effect on our fascia of our torso. Two more. So it's good to move that fascia in all these different directions so that we don't have stagnant energy, helps release tightness. And when we move in this slow, mindful way, we reestablish the inner rhythm of the body, particularly the smooth muscle. Relax for a breath or two. Feel the right side. Okay, here we go. Left side, lift the leg. Take it over. Think about rib cage and your gaze turning to the left, and then come back around, foot to the floor. Inhale, lift. Take it across. Doesn't have to get to the floor, although it might. In order to create that shearing action in the fascia, lower body's turning to the right, and then from the rib cage up toward the left. Couple more rounds. Of course, under the rib cage on the right is liver, left is stomach. So we're kind of shearing that connective tissue around those organs as well. Last 2 rounds. Okay, relax for this next one. Feel the left side. All right, both knees into the chest. Finishing with the neutral, not the neutral, but the symmetrical Uttanasana. So knees move away, inhale. Exhale, pull in, contract the belly. Option to lift your head, chest, and shoulders, creating more of a squeeze. Inhale, knees move away, head comes down. Exhale, curl. So lifting the head is optional. If that feels nice on your body, you want that extra effort. Otherwise, you can let the head stay down and focus on pulling navel to spine, pressing the abdominal area. Two more. All right, let the feet come back down. Take a pause. If you feel like you want to, you could always windshield wiper. All right, go ahead, roll to your side. And come on up into a seated position. Feel free to sit up on a blanket. Okay, a little bit of seated twisting. All right, so if you can cross leg, if not, no worries, sit however you can. You can take legs out maybe into a straddle position if you don't like cross legs. All right, we're gonna inhale, reach the arms up, and we're gonna twist to the right. We're gonna stay here. Each inhalation, we're gonna lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, we're gonna turn the rib cage into the twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. One more round. Now we're gonna hold the twist, thinking about your right rib cage drawing back, your left rib cage wrapping around. Take 3 breaths and try to stay as tall as you can. through your center. Breathe out into the ribs, so you're breathing out wide into the rib cage. Good. Unwind. Pause. Breathe in, breathe out. Right, other side. Inhale, reach your arms up, twist. Now each inhale, we're lifting up through our center. Exhale, turn your rib cage. And after this last little bit of a twist, hold for 3 breaths. Try to breathe out wide into the rib cage. Right, next inhalation, come back around to the center and pause. All right, turn towards your right knee and fold over your right knee any amount. And you can also have legs straight to do this if you need to. And then inhale, lift up a little bit through the chest. Exhale, fold. Let's do that a few rounds. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, lift, and try to turn your belly a little bit more this time. And fold, and now hold for 3 breaths. Depending on where you're at, your belly may be connected onto your thigh. Gives that little bit of kind of massage to this side of the body. If you're not making connection, the breath itself is still making that massage. Let's slowly come back up to the center. If your legs are crossed, let's switch the crossing of the legs. Okay, turn toward your left leg. Walk it out any amount. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold. Very good. You're trying to turn the abdomen a little bit more, especially on this last round. So we might turn that rib cage slightly deeper into the twist and then hold for 3 breaths. Right, when you're ready, coming back up through the center, take pause. And I want you to put hands on the rib cage, and we're gonna make circles with the rib cage. So I'm not doing this, okay? I'm isolating the movement into the ribs. Sounds like you're doing a little belly dance. And if you got that, you can put your hands down. Just kind of feel how this like churns the abdomen a little bit. It's kind of a tight little circle. Let's focus on going just with moving your rib cage. And then reverse the direction. Back to the center, take a pause, let your belly relax. Now bring your attention to your right rib cage and just bump it to the right. And you're contracting a little bit on the left, and then bump it to the left, contract on the right, and go side to side. You might close your eyes so you can just kind of really focus on what you're doing and maybe not feel self-conscious about it. Feel that stimulation into the belly area. Pretty much this is what would be considered a side bend in your body as well. Back to start, breathe. Okay, from here we're gonna come onto the belly. You might wanna be facing forward so you can take note of anything we're doing. So just go ahead, come down and rest for a bit. Stack up your palms, rest your forehead, and we'll be there breathing into the belly for a few breaths. So that last one we did, those little side to side movements also stimulate the kidney area. So said that overconsumption can also deplete our kidney energy. And this is more of a Chinese medicine perspective because the kidneys are related to our adrenal glands, which will pump out, those chemicals that help us keep going when we're over consuming. The adrenaline, cortisol, things like that. And in the yoga tradition, it is said that we deplete our ojas, or in Chinese medicine is called the jing, which is like our prenatal chi, what we're born with, our energy reserves, let's put it that way. When we use up our energy reserves, we get exhausted. And in Chinese medicine, it is said when we use up the jing, we're kaput. So we have to preserve it. So here, breathe into your lower back. Breathe into your lower ribs. The breath could nourish and replenish your energy reserves. Now from here, we're gonna prop up on the forearms and hold on to opposite elbows. And we're gonna do the somatic cobra today. Tuck your toes under and lift the knees off the floor. So legs are active. And then press your arms into the floor and lift your chest. Now you'll notice there's a bit of compression in that lower back area. That's okay. If it's too much for you, let the knees come down, okay? If you can, keep it active. And then we're gonna pull the arms toward the belly, and from deep in that area below your navel, pull forward, opening up that Apana Vayu area in the lower abdomen. So you're pulling your arms towards your belly, and from deep in your belly, pull forward, and then we're gonna look over the right shoulder. As you look over the right shoulder, push your left heel back and then come back to center. Look over your left shoulder, reach your right heel back, and then come back to center. Now repeat, and the whole time you're pulling with your arms towards your belly towards your arms. You feel how we're really opening up that lower abdomen here. Go slowly. Try to reach the heel back if you can. Last round. Okay, let's go ahead and come down, take a rest, and maybe give your hips a little shimmy or a windshield wiper. Okay, let the shins and feet come down. Grab your double tennis balls. Now, this can be a little intense, not gonna lie. If it's too much for you, feel free to skip it. We're gonna be placing these balls in that area we've been kind of targeting today. So it's gonna go horizontal below your navel and inside your hip bones. Okay, and it's gonna stimulate and massage out that area of the low belly.
Stimulate your bladder.
Yeah. If you had to go, because this might do that, yes. Okay, so it's a down and out flow of energy. The bladder's part of that. So we're gonna place those balls down there below the navel and hold opposite elbows. First, to see if you can adjust to that feeling. Maybe you wanna do a little side to side rock. And if you want to progress here, so you could stay here and breathe, that might be enough. If you want to progress, we're going to tuck the toes. I'm going to move a little forward because I'm off my mat. Okay, we're going to repeat that exercise. Tuck the toes, lift the kneecaps. And ooh, yeah, it's spicy. So we're going to press into the arms and lift the chest, draw the belly toward the arms toward the belly, and then look over opposite shoulders. So who knew we hold so much tension right here in our lower abdomen, right? Push back through the opposite heel, adding a little more layer of sensation. Right, and then let's let that go. Take the balls away for a few breaths. Come on down. Okay, next the balls are going to go in the upper region, so rib cage, the balls are going to go under there, okay? And then again, come on down. And first, just stay, maybe you might want to stay propped up because as you come down, there's more pressure there. So if you feel like at some point you want to try and come down, you can. You might hold opposite elbows. You might just go like a sphinx and then kind of roll those balls along the inner rim of the rib cage there. So hitting some diaphragm tissue, fascia around liver, stomach. I don't know, Dr. Tom, what else is in there? Pancreas? We got in there?
What?
Spleen. I said, Dr. Tom, what else is in there? Is pancreas, spleen in there too, right?
Pancreas, duodenum.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. So we got all kinds of good stuff in there, right? So if anything's uncomfortable, feel free to skip the balls. I don't want anyone in pain, but we're just kind of trying to massage out the fascia around those organs. Okay, and then let's release and come down. What is the function of duodenum? I can't remember. What's the function of duodenum?
It's the first part of the small intestine.
Okay. Yep. Very good. Love my anatomy. So now just take a couple breaths and just feel the release of all that massage work. We're gonna do one more little variation here, no tennis balls. Bring your right knee out to the side. So you might want to scoot over so your knee is on your blanket. Prop up, and we're gonna walk the upper body over toward that right knee. So we create a side bend. Then we're gonna tuck the left toes under and lift the left knees off the floor. Pull your elbows toward the left as you look toward your right knee. Keep your left heel resisting back, open up that left side, and then soften back toward neutral, okay? Inhale, pull the elbows toward the left, look toward the right, open up that left side, and then release. 3 more like this. All right, after that third round, go ahead and come back. Pause in the center. And then you might want to scoot over a little bit to the right so you can bring your left knee out to the side. And then walk your upper body over toward that left knee. We're going to tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee. Pull the elbows toward the right, look toward your left. And then release. Keep that right heel pressing back. That creates a longer line of energy, opening up the right side. Inhale as we side bend, exhale, release. Okay, and then we'll come back around, rest down. Maybe hips rock, maybe the windshield wipers of the shins. And then option to move back to child's pose. If you're not a fan of kind of being on the knees there, you're welcome to come on your back and hug these. So child's pose, hips toward the heels, head could be on the floor, or you stack your palms under your head if you like. You might rock your hips a little side to side. And this just stretches out the lower back after all that kind of back bendy work that we just did. And then let's go ahead and come all the way down onto your back. Hey, the Zoom made it, Kath. Nice work. We did it. All right, so go ahead and give those knees another hug into the chest. Maybe circles around on the lower back. I'm going to take a nice lengthy shavasana, because that is such a great counter to any kind of overconsumption. Reverse those circles if you're circling knees. And then setting the feet back down, maybe you feel like some windshield wipers, so feel free to do some of those. We want to just make sure we release any lower back tension after that last little series. We're gonna come back to our little gentle belly rub. So come back to the center, hands over the center of the navel, a few breaths, feeling the warmth and the pressure of your hands. And start circling around inside those bony landmarks of the hip bones and the rib cage. Stay on the soft tissue area. Slow circles going up the right side, down the left side. Start to make those circles a little smaller now, just kind of circling around the outside of the navel center. Then a little smaller, kind of circling right over the navel area. And then pause. Release and relax into Shavasana. The final relaxation, you stay down on the floor and come into rest. You're going to stay seated. So feel free to cover up. You might even want to put that extra blanket over your abdomen. Keep it warm. In Ayurveda, it is well known that digestive fire is its most potent when it's warm outside. So we're going to digest our food better in the summer than when we're cold and in the winter. And in fact, Ayurveda tells us to never drink ice water because it dampens our digestive heat, especially while we're having a meal. We don't want to dilute those digestive juices. And so you want to keep it warm, maybe even make sure we put warm things in the belly, especially in the winter time. Warm liquid soups and things rather than the ice creams that are going to imbalance us. So breathe into the abdomen, that rise and fall of the belly. I'll share a little reading as you drift into your rest. This is called Ordinary Things by Uli K. I'm in love with the ordinary things of life, fresh air, acts of kindness, deep soul conversations, watching things grow, listening to the rain as it empties its heart toward earth. Remembering the times I ran through it, unafraid, spontaneous, freedom-filled. I find pure joy in the joy of others. I am drunk on simplicity and nostalgia in old thrift shops run by volunteers. Those who just want to change the world one human being at a time. I greet the morning with eyes that still have remnants of pain, but will see their way through it. I am determined to create something beautiful every day, whether art or peace, or a path for those who are lacking in light. I wish for nothing more than soft hands filled with giving. And this is where I find my rest. And so just a reminder that that simplicity of ordinary things can be enough to bring us joy. A few minutes now just to rest in quiet. Surrender to the feeling of your body on the earth. Non-doing, non-consuming, non-grasping, contentment. Now in the next few moments, before you move, just notice how you feel in this moment. Fully feeling that sense of contentment, completeness, without needing a single thing outside of yourself in this moment. When you feel ready to, inviting in those small movements, take your time. Couple deeper breaths. Stretch out in any way you like, move how you like before coming on to your side. A little linger, a little pause before finding your seated position. Sit nice and tall for another moment or two, breathing into the low belly, low back. Share one more little quote. This is from Thich Nhat Hanh. We have a tendency to think in terms of doing and not in terms of being. We think that when we are not doing anything, we are wasting our time. That is not true. Our time is, first of all, for us to be. To be what? To be alive, to be peaceful, to be joyful, to be loving. And that is what the world needs most. Let's bring palms together. Take an inhale, exhale, bow to your heart. Namaste.